Hi, this is Julie with Patch Abilities, and I know that binding is a is a real challenge for a lot of folks. So I'm putting a binding on one of my final projects here, and I thought I would give you a nice video and let you watch as I do this. So if you can see here on my project, I've begun to put my binding on, which is okay. I just want to show you guys the corners and then how to join it. My binding is cut 2 inches wide and then folded and pressed in half, right side out. So here we go. I am using a walking foot on my machine, and I've got my binding is lining up. I've got the right edges of my binding lining up with the right edge of my project. And here we go. Right there, my fabric kind of jumped up over my foot a little bit, so I stop and readjust. I want you to notice that I do have my needle so that it is always stopping in the down position, and most of your sewing machines will have this option. On your walking foot, it's got a little line here, and that is my 1/4 of an inch seam guide. Here we go again. I'm just going to stop and adjust, lay my binding in place, and go. We're coming up onto the corner, which is very important. Okay. When I'm getting towards the end, what I will do is make sure my fabric is in place, and I will put my finger on the end. That just kind of holds everything secure so I don't get shifting. Now, as I'm coming up to the corner, I want you to notice this line where my foot comes down right here just so happens to be, that's going to be a 1/4 of an inch from the very end. So I'm going to, that's a 1/4 of an inch from your needle. I needed to correct that. Okay, right now I've stopped with the needle in the down position. This 1/4 of an inch guide here on my foot happens to be right at the very edge, you can see, of my next side of my project. Now I'm going to lift my needle, turn my entire project 45 degrees, 90 degrees, sorry. I flunked geometry. And now I'm going to back stitch. I'm going to back off of the entire project. See how I backed off? You don't want to back off too far and get your thread tails. Fold your fabric back, your binding back at a 45-degree angle. So the right side of your binding should be straight in alignment with the next side of your project. Now we're going to fold it back on top of itself so that this folded edge is going to line with the edge of our binding in our project. And now I do have a little bit of thread there. It should be okay. I don't think it's going to cause me any trouble. And I'm just going to line it up, and here we go again. And then you just stitch right back onto your project. This is how we create nice, neat, square corners. Just making sure that I'm staying aligned. Okay. Here we are, back up here, coming into the corner again. Okay, right there, my needle down, my 1/4 inch guide, seam allowance guide, is in alignment with the edge of my project. Lift my foot, give it a 90-degree turn, back off of the project. Here's where it's nice if I've left plenty of fabric and batting around the edge of my project, that I'm just backing off onto the project and not onto completely off of the project. Again, fold back your binding at a 45 and then fold it on top of itself. Align it with your project. I get it up almost to the very project, and then I lift that if your binding has kind of waved up on you there. Okay, this is my final corner. I'm going to be joining my binding, so I don't want to go very far down the project. And the next step will be joining the binding. So that's all I'm going to show you in this video. That was creating nice square corners with binding. Thank you for watching.